I do that frequently because it tells me they're actually reading them instead of just clicking, sending, clicking, sending, clicking, sending their resume.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast, helping appraisers increase their efficiency, quality, and make more money. Here's the guy who makes it his life's mission to create value for real estate appraisers nationwide. Your host and the Appraiser Coach, Dustin Harris.
All right. Welcome back to the program. Dustin Harris, once again in the podcast chair. And I want to talk today a little bit about overseas employees. I want to talk about virtual assistants because I've said a lot about virtual assistants in the past, and things have changed a bit. And I want to talk to you a little bit about those changes and how that might affect your going forward with hiring, training, managing virtual assistants, and keeping virtual assistants. I want to pause and remind you we're sponsored by DataMaster today. DataMaster is a program that helps you to put information from your county records, from your MLS directly into your 1004, your 1025, your 2055, any report out there and any software. DataMaster can handle it. Go to datamasterusa.com, datamasterusa.com, Working RE magazine. Folks, probably twice a week I get something from Working RE in my inbox. And some of you might say, well, Dustin, I don't have time for more stuff in my... Folks, this is stuff you're going to want to see because it has everything to do with you and your livelihood and your industry and the future. This is a great company giving you great information. Again, it's workingre.com, workingre.com. Finally, we are sponsored by Alamode. Alamode is the software that I'm using and have used for 26 years. My dad used it before me, so I kind of just fit into that world, if you will. I never had to change softwares, but I've never wanted to either. The great things that Alamode brings to the table for appraisers is something you want to be involved in. Alamode.com or 800-ALAMODE. All right, folks, we're going to talk today a little bit about virtual assistants, specifically people that work overseas. I've said a lot about virtual assistants over the years, and by the way, virtual assistant can mean anybody that doesn't work in your office. So technically, every single one of my employees and contractors right now are VAs. They're virtual assistants, right? They're all working from home, every last one of them, all 17. But today we're going to be talking about overseas VAs, virtual assistants that might come from countries outside the U.S. Now, over the years, I've said a lot on this. I do have a workshop on my website that you can find by going to theappraisercoach.com, and it is a full webinar. It's a full webinar on how to manage, train, deal with the technology, how to find them, where to go to find them, on virtual assistants. Now, I actually have two webinars on virtual assistants, one that was a little bit older and one that's been updated. Feel free to partake in that. Just go to my website and then hit products, and then you can scroll down and find those webinars and participate that way. By the way, those are free for the All-Star team. You simply need to join the All-Star team and you can get access to every last one of my webinars that are there. So there's been a lot said over the years, and I've said quite a bit of stuff here on this microphone as well when it comes to virtual assistants. But lately, there's been a question come from some of the All-Star team members. I had one just this morning. That's what prompted this particular episode today. And basically the question, I'm just going to boil it down to, Dustin, I'm doing everything you say and I'm still struggling trying to find the right person or keep the right person. Now, I'm going to be completely honest and frank with you. There are some great principles and practices out there. Again, many of them I've trained on both here and on the website. There's tons of information out there when it comes to virtual assistants. The bottom line is there's also tons of information out there on how to just hire an individual locally, right? How to interview, how to look through resumes, how to filter, what type of ad to put out there, right? Who do you hire? How do you hire them? How do you put together a contract? All those details are very, very important. And in the end, you can do everything right and it not work out. You can do everything you're quote unquote supposed to do and things completely fall apart. And this is where I just need to lay it out there. The question that I had from the individual in the All-Star team is spot on, mainly because there has been a big switch and a big change. In the last couple of years, I've noticed it slowly creep in, but it is a change that I think we are seeing not just locally in the United States, but also worldwide. And that is, and I'm just going to state it as bluntly as this, it is hard to find good help anymore. And I know that sounds like, okay, Grandpa, thanks for telling that story. But folks, maybe I am just getting old and crusty, but it's hard to find damn good help anymore. It really is. It's damn hard to find damn good help anymore. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating because I have hired and let go many more people recently, than I ever have in the past. It used to be that you could kind of go step by step through this process, and if you did it right, chances were pretty darn good. I'd say 80% that you're going to find a good one. I would say that's opposite now, really. I think there's about a 20% chance that you could go through all the steps and do everything right, and that person work out long-term for you. And that includes overseas as well. There's a couple of different reasons for that, which I want to talk about a little bit after the break. And I also want to talk to you about some of the things to watch for, some of the red flags, if you will, as you get into this process. I want to pause here and remind you that we are sponsored by Working RE Magazine. Speaking of learning about information specific to our industry, to our career as real estate appraisers, I highly recommend that you sign up for the free blog at workingre.com. Once you sign up for that blog, you'll find that it is very easy to follow information and details as it applies to the appraisal world. Working RE is on top of it, and you need to be with Working RE. WorkingRE.com is where you sign up. Again, WorkingRE.com. We're sponsored today by a la mode software. a la mode is the form-filling software that I use in my office. Now, folks, think about this. Probably the most important thing when it comes to appraisers, especially if they're working with themselves, right, by themselves, is the technology, helping to utilize technology that will help them to be more efficient at what they do. There is no other stronger than a la mode software when it comes to residential form-filling software. They have the tools built into the program that will, this report writes itself. It's amazing the things that, and by the way, things that you may not even know about. It's so amazing to me. I'll go to my mastermind meetings and we're sitting there and somebody will say, well, I just use this feature in a la mode and three people around the table. What did you say? How do you do that? I didn't know that existed. Right? There's so much out there that sometimes we don't even know what we don't know. Check it out. Go to alamode.com. That's ALAMODE.com. alamode.com. Finally, we are sponsored by DataMaster. DataMaster is an amazing program. I cannot stress enough how easy it is to use. It will take you 10 minutes to learn this, folks. And you're going to look at the price tag and you're going to say, well, Dustin, I don't want to spend that much per month. Oh, grasshopper, let me teach you, right? The idea of saving time is saving money. This is not a cost. This is an investment. Check it out by going to datamasterusa.com. Again, datamasterusa.com. And welcome back to the program, everyone. Dustin Harris hanging out in the podcast here. We're talking today about what is the key to finding and keeping good overseas employees. Ready for this? There is none, right? There is not one key to finding and keeping good overseas employees. But I will tell you this. It is becoming more and more difficult to find the right people, the skilled people that allow you to be able to do what you need to do by utilizing their services. You can go through all of the things that I've taught out there. You could go to the right places. There's specific websites that I've taught about how to find virtual assistants. There are certain protocol practices that I would encourage you to utilize, such as the way that you write your ad. I'll give you one indication, one hint. Put something in the ad that will help to narrow the field. And it may be something as goofy as, hey, when you apply for this job, use this word in your application. I do that frequently because it tells me they're actually reading them instead of just clicking, sending their resume, right? I want somebody who is actually interested in this particular job that I have on the table, and that helps to narrow that. But folks, let me say this. A couple of things have changed over the last couple of years when it comes to virtual assistants. First of all, there used to be less of an entitlement mentality when it came to overseas employees. I don't know why that has changed. I just know that in general, not completely, but in general, I have seen and noticed a difference. It used to be that people were very hungry for jobs. And now I'm not seeing it so much. Understandably, in the U.S., I think a lot of that has to do with some of the systems that have been built in to, what has happened through the pandemic and post-pandemic to help people. At least I think that's their motivation, right? To help people to get up on their feet. But some of that, in my personal opinion, has lasted a little longer than it should have. And sometimes it demotivates people to go out and find a job. If you can, let's just state it very bluntly. If you can make $12 an hour sitting at home, not having a job, why would you go out and work for $15 an hour, flipping burgers? It's pretty hard to justify that. And thus you see help wanted signs all over the United States. But what's going on overseas? Is that same thing happening overseas? I think some of it is. I don't claim to be an expert in any of these countries that I hire people from. And by the way, I have virtual assistants in 3 countries currently, the Philippines, Colombia, and India. And I don't know the politics there and what's happening, but I do see that there is a general attitude of let's just say less desire to find a job and less desire to do a great job so that you can keep that job. So know that going into it, right? What had happened in the past is not necessarily happening as much in the future. Now, folks, trust me, I am very self-aware of what I'm saying here, right? I know though those of you who are listening to this and screaming and say, oh, Dustin, you can't paint everything with a broad brush. That's not true in every case. I found a great virtue. I get it, folks. I'm just saying in general, my experience has been over the last little while that things have shifted a bit, right? I see a little bit more of an attitude with individuals. I see less skills coming to the table than I've seen in the past. I don't know why that is. I don't pretend to know why that is, but I can tell you that I used to be able to find individuals that were more skilled with technology and customer service than I can currently, okay? I also have noticed a trend upward in pay, where you used to be able to pay a certain amount. Today, those virtual assistants are demanding more. Again, that might be a variety of different reasons why that's happening. One of them, I think, is the idea of virtual assistants and hiring people outside the United States is becoming more and more popular across all the industries, and I think that there's more of a choice that these individuals that we hire have. And so that happens as well. Just keep in mind that some of them, some processes, some individuals and some attitudes have changed over the last little bit. Now, does that mean that I would discourage you to reach out? Folks, I've got 17 people in my office, 17 people that work for me, not including myself and my wife. So a total of 19 people in our little business here. And seven of them are overseas. That's pretty significant. And I will continue to hire overseas. I'm not discouraged to the point that I'm not going to hire overseas, but just know going into it that things might be a little bit different than they've been in the past. Thank you for joining me today, folks. I hope this has been useful. If it has been, reach out to your Appraiser friends. Let them know about the Appraiser Coach podcast. We would love to have them listen.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.